month, we're exploring ways to be more involved, and today we apply that to Studio 5 July theme to dads.
No one will argue fathers play an extremely important role, but a common complaint among women, wives, and mothers everywhere is that he's just not involved enough. So Studio 5 relationship coach Matt Townsend is here with 5 things women can do to get dad involved.
Yes. Is this?
I just love doing that.
Is it a real big problem? Is this significant? Do most women really have a problem with this?
No, I hear that a lot. That's one of the biggest complaints I hear in coaching is the wives can't get their husband, not just involved like in housework, but involved actually connecting to the children, involved in the lives of the children.
Right.
Critical point. Now, here's the rule. This is the overarching point of everything we're going to say today. Most of us like to do things we're good at and that we feel we're good at. If we don't feel like we're good at something, we're probably not going to be as involved in it. So the #1 overarching rule of everything we're going to learn, if you want your husband more involved, you probably ought to do your best to make sure that they feel like they're good at this, at getting involved and at being involved.
That's fair.
Okay.
And it's something women can really affect. I mean, if women are out there saying, how can I get him more involved? I can't, hand force him to do this or that, but you can make a difference in how it happens.
Well, and part of it is a lot of the women don't think, why should I have to get him more involved? He should just be involved. If he loved the family and cared about us, he should just do it. Put your head out, man. But guys don't necessarily think that way. And part of it's that we don't know what we're doing. We don't, and a lot of it is, think about it. There's some things that you just naturally do better. I mean, if you had the child and you fed the child and you've bonded and held the child, you're probably going to be a little bit better with a child than maybe the guy that's been kind of circling, handing you a water bottle to keep you hydrated.
We have laid the foundation here. We've told people, make sure that your husband's going to feel good about this. So now we're going to go through these 5 points. You say, first of all, make it about parenting, not about fathering.
A lot of the conversations end up being about, you know what, honey, you really need to spend more time being involved. You need to spend more time focusing on the children. You're not here nearly enough. The minute we start hearing that the problem is us, we kind of start to let our egos get involved.
It's defensive.
And we get defensive, and we stop listening.
Those egos.
I know. I hate them. I hate men and their egos. But that was my ego click.
I noticed.
I saw myself. It was weird. So one of the things that we've got to do is make sure that we make it about our parenting. I turn this into a parenting issue, not a fathering issue. We need to improve our parenting. We need to learn about the importance of fathers and mothers in parenting. We need to read the research about it. There's amazing research about what moms and dads do to improve their children's lives, like decreasing sexual activity of their children just by understanding. Research out of Boston College says the more a parent understands their child, it decreases their sexual activity. Yes, the younger 18 and unders. Now, here's an interesting point. Fathers, the more a father knows about the child, that decreases the child's sexual activity twice as much as how much the mother knows.
Are you serious?
So active, involved fathers really are important. So what I'd be doing is talking as a husband and wife saying, we've got to be better parents here. How do we parent better instead of how do I get you more involved?
And that leads right into your next tip, which is to build a parenting plan together as a team.
I would sit down, I'd make a plan. My basic belief is if anybody doesn't have a plan, you just got a pipe dream. If you got a goal without a plan, it's just a pipe dream. So we got to create a plan. Sit down, talk to each other, figure out what our goals are. What are specific things we want to accomplish as a husband and wife couple? What are specific things we want to focus on this year with our children? Self-esteem of Timmy, dealing with Billy's anxiety when he goes to school, and just point out certain goals and start asking each other, how can we work on these together?
Yeah, that is so me. I mean, I have this goal, hey, we want to be good parents, but you're exactly right. I don't have necessarily the plan
most
to
people
get us
don't.
there.
And think about that. If you have a goal that's really interesting to you, research shows if you have a goal and a plan, you're much more likely to feel better, and if you feel better, you're much more likely to be involved.
Okay, so for women who are wanting to maybe encourage husbands to be more involved, you say it all starts with them. They can model themselves effective parenting.
The best way to teach your partner how to be an involved parent is to model it. See yourself as the teacher, and you're like, oh, geez, another kid? Do I have to teach another kid how to do something?
I gotta cook a dinner, tie his shoes, and teach him how to do it?
And I gotta teach my husband. But you know what? We watch you. We watch how you do it. And if you'll start modeling it for us, one of my rules is I'd make a test. Spend the next 3 months. Don't tell your husband what you want him to do more. Just model that behavior for him for 3 months. Don't say it. Just show it.
Which can be hard to do.
It's very hard to do because when we get frustrated, we're going to start talking. But the minute we start talking, the guys stop listening. If you haven't learned that. So model it.
3-month experiment right there.
And I test it, model it, and then if it doesn't work, then sit down and say, you know what, we really need to work on a few things together. How can we improve this and this? But model it.
I like that.
Do the activities. Be with the children. Show them what patience looks like. Show them how to connect. My wife always teaches me when I'm driving the carpool, she says, I talk to the kids. I ask them about these things. I bring these things up. So she actually just tells me what she says when she's in the car with them. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know we needed to talk when we were driving.
Do we have to communicate?
That's right.
Your next one is really for women to respect husbands, respect him and his ways on how he does stuff, right?
We are different, if you haven't noticed. We do it our way, and our way feels very natural for us, and in a way, our way probably is going to have results your way never would. Last night I had a great example of this. My wife's frustrated, summer, all the kids are home, driving her crazy. And she was dealing with one of my children, and she was dealing with him her way. She was sitting down, trying to communicate and talk through with this child how it works.
And what's Matt doing?
And Matt, I got home after that, and she just expressed how frustrated she was. I didn't want to hear that. So I said, you know what, no, we don't talk about this. We just need to kind of go do it. So I went down to my son's room, and this is different, but I took him on. I confronted him. And I just said, no, we're not having this anymore. You're going to start doing this because that's just what we do. That's how we be responsible.
No talk, just do it.
And I demanded it. And by the way, he started bawling and crying. And it was one of those long nights. And it was frustrating. I know my wife was upstairs pacing. And at the end, it took about an hour and a half. But at the end, I had reached my son in a way that my wife hadn't. And we were best friends, hugging and playing in his room again. And then he went to bed at midnight. We're different. I will do it differently than she does it. It's not always perfect.
Right.
Sometimes it's wrong. You know, we shouldn't beat the child. And so, but sometimes it's wrong. But a lot of times it's right. And what they're finding out about the research is they don't know exactly why husbands play such an important role. They just know they do.
So let them do it.
So let us do it, and kind of let us do it our way. Now, but our way, you're so sensitive sometimes that our way doesn't jive. So, but sometimes trust us that our way might be exactly what that kid needs.
So step back, maybe pace upstairs just a little bit, let in your lip, and let it happen.
Take a Valium, whatever it takes.
Men and women are different, and it also comes into play with the Evening with Matt Townsend coming up, right?
Coming up. You got to do this. It's August 1st. Tons of fun. What we're going to do is we sit down with couples, have tons of fun. If you've got a husband that you know you need to spark, get him communicating. We also have a deal. If you call and register before Friday, before tomorrow, you get door prizes given to you right at the door.
In addition to the Cheetos that you hand out.
Tons of Cheetos and Doritos.
Somehow we always talk about Cheetos when Matt's here. Townsend, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, coming up, it's a